Words. So, Abraxas had the save file last. And, I really wish they didn't use these generated images, but it's fine for what it is. They put a lot of creativity and effort into this, so let's go through. Although, actually, I'm going to wait a minute and 30 seconds because ads just started. Nobody reboots Linux anyway. I reboot all of my computers because if I turn my computers off, then I get up from my desk and do something else. If I leave the computer on, I stare at it for the entirety of my life, and that's unhealthy. Raging Cave. So I turn off my computer when I'm done using it because it makes me get up and leave the computer. Otherwise, I would literally be on the computer all night, every night. And that's not healthy. Is there a list of who the player's on? On the Discord. Everything's on the Discord. I'm not, like, sharing it super publicly, mostly because, like, I don't want people to just flood in out of nowhere and then not know where to go. So, if you want to see the details, you got to go into Discord. It's all pinned in the viewer succession forts room of my Discord. Well, then that's a you problem. You'll have to join the Discord. All right, we should be through the ads now. Let's dive in. All right, so Abraxas, founded in 276. It's 275. 276. The fortress Underhome teeters above the forbidding abyss. Dwarves carved. I know what that word is and I know how to say it, but my brain isn't letting me. Dwarves carved prosperity from the chaos, building defenses against thieves, werebeasts, necromancers, and caverns. Horrors and leaders rose and fell. Temples flourished. Guilds formed. Artifacts and symbols of pride. Now, as the spirit of Abraxas takes command of 278, uncertainty and excitement ripple through Underhouse. Will Abraxas bring glory, spell despair, or simply mark a whimsical turn of fate? Hold tight, dwarves. The year of Abraxas has begun. The demons from hell were... well, no one truly knows. What we do know is far more unsettling. We're no longer sure whether Underhouse was built to contain them or set them free. The early winter was already talking about the tales from beyond Underhouse. And probably beneath as well. The human lieutenant, Lonoloth Samogano, seemed to know more than I thought was possible. Indeed, beneath our now famous tavern was lying a secret that everybody in Alzroden was keeping a secret. The demons from hell. Winter began, and on a comical note, citizens assigned to fortifications on the southwest wall leapt into the tree to reach the worksite more easily. The plan worked until the wall was finished, and then realized that they were too terrified to climb down. Naturally, no one noticed, and everyone was too busy drinking and reciting poetry in the tavern. Thankfully, Kivish the woodcutter came to their rescue with a ladder. Not with a ladder, but with an axe. Once one well-placed chop and the tree was stranded, and the builder were brought back down to earth. Let's hope this serves a lesson for future construction efforts. Though, realistically, it won't. Winter also marked the start of road construction, and dwarves chose to pave it with chalk flooring instead of traditional gray stone. Instead of a traditional gray stone paved road. Not for function, but for form. And after all, Underhouse aesthetics matter. Yes, we did in fact settle on the crazy hole. That is the crazy hole. If you scroll up in this room on the Discord, Disco Dwarf Dork, you can get all of the history like this. It's just sitting in this room. Mid-Moonstone brought with it an uninvited settling guest. She approached the gate, boldly reeking of decay, her skin a ghastly livid blue, tainted by some unspeakable pestilence. Some dwarves thought they recognized her, perhaps a once resident of Underhouse, or of Underhome, but none could say when or how, or if it was even truly her anymore. The Baroness made a swift, grim decision. Whatever she was, letting her in could be catastrophic. The Mark's dwarves were ordered to handle it, and they did. I wonder if Thomas is in the fortress. Her lover. As spring arrives, Underhouse enters a phase of intense infrastructure reform. The construction echoes through every hall and corridor. As grand plans unfold to shape the fortress into the capital it always was meant to be. Great halls, chapels, and the noble bedrooms alongside, and freshly paved roads. Each stone laid a step towards glory. Must explore for the glory of Armok. So you'll see the hellhole in these screenshots, but the undead continue to visit the fortress, especially the tavern. At first, the Baroness feared they posed a threat to the citizens. A lone, shambling figure, perhaps once familiar, was swiftly put down, despite its painful, silent approach. Sorry, pitiful, not painful. It may have simply been returning to a place it once called home, but over time, the mood shifted, and the citizens began to tolerate, even accept those eerie visitors. They seemed harmless, silent wanderers, occasionally drifting into the tavern. One human, Ghoul, was even reciting poetry and attempting conversation. Of course, he showed no emotion afterwards, but it was something. It seems Underhouse has begun to attract guests from every corner of existence, living and dead, and everything in between. An intel undead? Oh, you mean like he killed him? Yeah, no, he did. This dude knows what he's doing. This is exactly what we're looking for, though, with the role-playing stuff. For a brief moment, Underhouse froze. A certain vile force of darkness had arrived. A mountainous alchemy squad prepared for an epic clash. Weapons drawn, hearts steady. But the terror turned out to be 3 nervous goblins. Upon glimpsing the towering might of the fortress, they turned tail without fight. So much for the darkness. Yeah, no, they don't have much luck. They're not gonna have much luck in such a place. Meanwhile, construction and excavation press on beneath the fortress. New catacombs are nearly complete and awaiting the placement of quality coffins to welcome their future occupants. Getting ahead of things. There was an artifact, which is the Armory of Storms. It is a bulging silver breastplate. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is encircled with bands of silver and oval galenic cabochons, and llama leather and cushion fire agate cabochons. This object menaces with spikes of galena. On the item is an image of circles of fire agate. On the item is an image of Tor lake blushes, the human, and a goblin in fire. This represents not just a powerful symbol of dominance, material dominance, but also the artistic cultural peak of Underhouse's forge works. Its presence alone lifts the spirits of the dwarves and reminds all who pass that Underhouse is not merely surviving, it's forging a legend. Early summer, Underhouse stands transformed. The great infrastructure mandate nears completion. The fortress hums with pride of progress. Among the highlights, and a significant new library dedicated to the wisdom and vision of the glorious Baroness now rises from the stone. A beacon of knowledge and culture, the earth and beneath the earth, with the title of Metropolis earned. Worries of food and drink are relics of the past, and our storerooms overflow and the tavern bustles with life and unlife. Artists, poets, soldiers, and the occasional undead wanderer all mingle in the lantern light, trading verses and stories and glances across tankards of dwarven ale. But beneath rivalry, something stirs. A strange noise, a chant. We heard them echoing from the newly dug catacombs at night. No one dares speak of it openly. Not yet. All this was done in a year, yeah. Because, like, if I scroll back up to the very beginning, right? He started in 278, which was when I finished, 278. And when I finished, we had 112 population. So we'd already, like, moved pretty far. So he's just kind of like... You know how forts kind of hit a critical mass at a point where you just have enough hands that if you distribute it well, you can just, like, explode kind of suddenly. When you go from, like... It's the difference between having, like, 50 dwarves and 150 dwarves, which happens pretty quickly. Yeah, he didn't waste any time. Very much, like, played a little, like, a season per day, basically. And microed it. It's official, Underhouse is in the cheese business, thanks to the booming llama population. The llama cheese has become the fortress's most prized exports. Merchants can't get enough of it. Okay, we'll have to make cheese. And tavern goers sing its praises between mugs of ale. Word has spread so far that even the local farmer held a passionate discourse on cheese in the guild hall, complete with tasting samples and a spirited debate on rind. But now, it's making a name for itself in the world of dairy. You distribute hands. You know what it means. If you don't know what it means, learn English. Learn to turn a phrase. While unloading a crate of our farmed lava cheese, two merchants, a strange guilt caught the eye of our typically tech-turned manager and broker. Among their wares was one of our artifacts, or so it seemed. But how could that be? The value was only marginally higher. We'd sold it. The value was only marginally higher by off by just 1,000. Something was off. A closer look revealed the truths. The merchants were no ordinary traders. They were trying to pass off fraud, and in doing so, they insulted the very soul of Underhouse. Sure. Which ones are these? Are these the humans? They are humans. Okay, so we're going to war with humans. I get it. They were attempting to pass off a fraud, and in doing so, they insulted the very soul of Underhouse. And in a fact of swift righteous fury, the trade depot was demolished, collapsing their deceitful caravan. A message was sent: Underhouse will not be mocked, and its honor will not be bought or intimidated. Craftsmanship is sacred. We do not sell legends, we forge them. By late summer, the tavern had taken a darker turn. Fights are breaking out with an alarming frequency, this time leaving 15 dwarves in the hospital, battered and bruised. All signs point to our manager and broker. Ever since the forgery incident, it's been Sprawling, moody, and withdrawn. Simmering with quiet rage, he rarely speaks, drinks too much. And when he does talk, it's with clenched teeth and far-off eyes. He's become a ticking time bomb, and the fortress is starting to feel its tremors. Yikes. I think he probably accidentally traded it as part of mass trading other things. Or did it intentionally for, like, story-building purposes, if I had to bet. Uthra, the Soldikful Sudan Ghoul, paid another visit to the tavern. And yes, the human cold ghoul, with a fondness for poetry and small talk, a bizarre yet oddly endearing figure, has become something of a curiosity in Underhouse. The citizens welcomed him warmly this time, offering drinks and company and open ears for his verses. He lingered for a while and then slipped away into the dark, unsatisfied, perhaps simply restless. Still, some dwarves swear they saw a faint glimmer in his eyes, a spark of something, almost alive. Everyone hopes he'll return. Was it a bug, really? Huh. So wait, do we have 2 of it now? That's wild if it's a bug. Early autumn, and once again, the vile force of darkness approaches. Panic flickered briefly, and the horns sounded, and guards ready to their arms, and dwarves braced for blood. But, no, just 5 goblins. Wide-eyed and clearly in over their heads. One look at the towering walls, and they turned and ran. Nothing to see here. Just another reminder that Underhouse doesn't repel darkness. It scares it. Underhouse is now a mascot of a giant crow. No one knows where it came from, but it's made itself quite at home, especially in the new library, where it perches for hours, staring at the shelves and trying to read. There's something uncanny about it. It's not aggressive, but it watches, observes. Some say that it's searching for a master. Others think it could be a fine addition to the military squad, a feathered sentinel, and in Underhome, it's rarely a coincidence. Did that come from that trade caravan that you destroyed, possibly? I think it's all, like, from some AI model, yeah. I kind of wish that, like, in future, if we could have 2 versions, one with and one without, because I'm not a fan of this at all, but I'm just moving on with it. Forgotten Beast Galka has come. As autumn draws close, a Forgotten Beast emerges right on cue. It seems the depths themselves couldn't resist. Throwing one final challenge at Underhouse before the year's end. A fitting climax to a year of madness. Green Tea, thank you very much for the 30th month. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Fitting climax of a year of madness and mystery and ambition. The question is now, are we ready for it? The Forgotten Beast descended not upon us, but upon the horrors we had unearthed upon the abyss. With a terrifying fury, it tore through the green fiends we had long feared, destroying over 20 of them in a single rampage. But even monsters tire. Wounded and bleeding, the great beast collapsed in the depths, never to rise again. Underhouse will remember this day. For the first time in Dwarven history, a Forgotten Beast became an ally, however briefly, and the dwarves of Underhouse will be forever grateful for its final feral stand. What a beast. Spray Devil the Deep? That's a good name. The year of Abraxas draws to a close, and winter settles in. The mayor gives a bold order. It's time to stop pretending the whispers from the abyss aren't real. The gates are to be opened, and the unseen horrors stirring beneath our fortress must be faced, not feared. Underhouse will confront the darkness, and the demons haunting our nights, the cries echoing through the stone, all of it. As we descend, we carry the memory of the Forgotten Beast, who, against all odds, gave its final breath, fighting the very evil we now prepare to meet. And that's the full shot of the fortress. Big hole into hell and all. It's pretty. But yeah, my only request is in future, if you could attach a version of the image without the generated art, that would be cool. But it is really nice. You did a good job. All right, it's time for us to take over. What do you think, chat? So let me close that. All right, so there's one thing I got to do before I finish it. Got to turn on my own recording. And then this one. This one, right here. Yeah, I know Abraxas is in chat. I saw them typing earlier. But yeah, no, I applaud the creativity all the same. Like, you did a really neat job with it. All right. Let's give things a look-see, shall we? I really hope I don't hear that again. There's construction directly outside of my house still. And I don't know what they just did, but it sounded like nails on a chalkboard. So hopefully they don't do that again, because that was unpleasant sounding. Thanks for the $10. Cernev. Cheers, dude.
Cernev cheered. X1000.
So let's jump up to the surface first and take a peek. My little additions to the walls got incorporated, which is nice. I still got that tiny little pile of bodies up there. Still got the military training up here. This is the smallest little archery training area I've ever seen. Maybe not ever seen, but certainly small. We got a pile of puppies down here. Good stuff. I see there's the exploding cheese creation population. Down in here is the lovely, glorious temple. Full of goblin poets. I feel like we need some guest houses, maybe? More square walls. There's not too many square walls. It's fine. This area's been expanded as well, which is nice. We got kitchens. That's our little hospital. Right. They're unconscious and injured and... Ew. It's set to everybody do this. Is anybody taking care of that person? Is there stuff happening? Question is, what do you need? Crutch required, left hand. Cleaning, you need everything. Yeah, we do have everything. Well, could just assign some other doctors to the list. Let's actually leave you up there. Go down to here. Throw in Cybrek, who's a legendary diagnoser, which is kind of crazy. Throw in Solon. And this dwarf. Pile of puppies, everybody's worst nightmare or greatest friend. Over here was the last addition that he made right before the end. I'm presuming this is like a, I don't know, some sort of like expected to be a tomb location. Got a whole bunch of unassigned constructed tombs. If I zoom down through here, this was where I was shooting at stuff. I'm not sure what all is down in here. I guess there's still various areas with, you know, wraiths of steam everywhere. Just the usual suspects. I would like to see like a kind of strong Forgotten Beast show up and kill a ton of them. Pile of Puppies does sound like a Primus song, yeah. That's my little minecart route that I brought down to here for hauling up ore. Could certainly go looking around for some more ore. I mean, there's more like right here. There's probably more up here too. Because Galena is kind of hard to come by, but it looks like it's been fully utilized. Yeah, it seems like the stuff's all further down. And down in here is actual hell, and if I unpause the game, it's probably going to immediately start caving in infinitely. Oh, I guess cave-ins is tied to save file. Today I learned. Why is hole? Good question. It was there when we embarked. There was no shenanigans. I just did the embark, and it was like, congratulations, you found hell, motherfucker. And that was all the information the game gave us, and it refused to elaborate. So why is there a hole to hell? I don't know. Good question. You tell me. Too many puppies. Yes, that's why. Definitely. Definitely too many puppies. So we are starting in 279. I'm just going to go open a notepad file. So that I can type in little details. So it's year 279 to 280. Spearmasters bestowed a name upon a shield. I should check our military. So it seems like we have 3 squads. Got 1 ranged crossbow squad. We've got 1 pretty decked out spear squad. What are we all wielding? It's all steel gear. Been busy with that iron. Lots of lead. Okay. What? Whoopsies. What flux stone do we have? I think it's dolomite, right? Yeah, it's dolomite that we have. I will be taking a whole bunch of screenshots, though. Got Wraith of Steam's fightings with Elk's birds. As far as defenses go, we're a little bit exposed. Do demons come out? Well, they would, sure, but we built a bridge over top of it so that they didn't. And we were only able to get the bridge built soon enough that it wasn't that much of a threat. Okay, so something I've been thinking about is, like, Abraxas was going on about setting them free, right? I think a fun way to go for today would be to try and tunnel down to the first cavern layer. And then when sieges arrive, not when protect the horde from stinking filth arrives. When sieges arrive, I'm thinking we figure out a way to kite them down in there. So you want to see us build a drop trap in hell. That would be very twicky, but we can try. Because we'd need a drawbridge, right? Dropping would require you removing all the flooring, which would be quite difficult. However, well, actually, I mean, here's the really easy way I could do that. Just go down into here and build a circle around this. And then just pull this lever, or pull maybe not this one specifically, but a lever to drop that and just let them fall. Like, that would be super easy to do. This is a recent thing. Urban Nomad. Or, not Urban Nomad. Urban Nomad. But yeah, this is week 3 of a succession fort that we're doing through the Discord. An ad just started. If we run into any gremlins, if we did, they would die immediately to one of the thousands of demons. Urbanomad. Urbanomad! Yeah, everybody's reading Urban Nomad's name wrong. How likely is it to find hell? This has never happened to me before, so I have no idea. Like, my answer to all of your questions about why is there a hole leading directly to hell in the middle of the fort is going to be answered with one thing. I don't know. Or, you tell me, smiley face. Where's the save file nowadays? In the same place it's been since it started. Right here, on the Discord. The original file is pinned. The most up-to-date one is at the bottom of the last writings. It's in the viewer succession forts room on the Discord. You may need to unhide it, because Discord likes to hide rooms for some silly reason. Every question people ask is a repeat question, so there's no reason to really apologize. But I'm just trying to, like, clarify that there is no chance that I will be able to give you a more direct answer, aside from, I think it's a bug. It's definitely not intended. It doesn't go into your computer. Like, where are save files actually located? There's a thing about it directly beneath the, like, save file. Like, literally, what was it? Cajun Bard posted a response, but it doesn't seem to be the case on my computer, so it must just be for Windows systems. So I can't actually help you. Like, believe it or not, this is new to me. Yeah. Like, the save files moving was as of the Lua stuff going into the main branch.
Community fort. Crypt beer, crypt wambler.
Thanks, Synth. But yeah, I would like to make a drop trap into hell. I think that would be fun. But then we wouldn't get any Goblinite, though. But whatever. Okay. You know? Okay, and we can just stand here and shoot whatever's left, if there's any creature. So this is, like, a little bit dangerous. If I go in this way. So it's the best I can do. Neither, it's the best I can do. There is also a chance certain creatures could topple this bridge. This fortress is kind of already in hell. If you join the Discord, Urban Nomad, and go to the room in the Discord called the Viewer Succession Forts, you will see the entirety of this fort's history in a series of posts. It's not a joke if it's phrased like a question, because people ask questions all the time that read like jokes, and if I read them all like jokes, then nobody would get questions answered. So if you form a question in my chat, I'm going to read it like a question, and I apologize for doing that, but that's just how I have to operate, because that's how the internet works. That should be pretty self-explanatory, I think, though. All right, so if we want to make a drop trap into hell, I could repurpose this and kind of go this way and then connect to either in here or maybe like in here. Where's this supposed to go? Oh. Right, yeah, that was me building something else. Oh, is this going to be a... Right, yeah, this was me doing the exact same thing. I already kind of started this. Question is do I want to finish that? Because my original plan wasn't to connect it to this. I like mushroom ketchup, actually. I just don't like, you know, crappy ketchup, if that's what you're talking about. Presume that's what you're talking about. Your underground is on fire? I am aware, thanks. There's bigger problems than a little burning. Trust me, a little burning is the least of this fortress's concerns. I mean, Obama agrees that nobody should eat ketchup after the age of 8 years old, so... I'll see what I can do with this. I'll see what I can do with this. All right. How many miners are we up to? Who's pissed? Still no mall. The manager is still helmet venom. He's not that pissed off. It's nice lead floor library. What else in the library? Anything? Oh, we do have books. Cool, so we've been stealing stuff. That or we've had visitors delivering stuff, one of the two. Okay, so this is just what? Chalk scepter and green glass crown. I'm just looking to see if we actually have any, like, any sort of artifact hold. Because this room is just kind of here, but it doesn't seem to have any purpose currently. Got a bunch of crafting kind of in the middle. We've got various guilds, various temples, other temple, other guilds, bedrooms, bunch of like diagonal spaces over here. Of course, that's the Farmer Guild Hall. Farmer Guild Hall needs to be grandified, so I need to upgrade that. I could just split it over into here as well. Why don't we do that? Let's just cut this out and double up this room space and add this into the Farmers Guild. Also, I'm going to dig this at a higher speed. Higher rate of digging. Looks important. It kind of feels like it's planned for a barony or something, but we don't have a barony. Like, it looks like a setup throne room, basically. It's kind of how I'm interpreting it anyway. Oh yeah, the demons also keep giving birth to triplets, by the way. So it's like, you know, it's really fun under there. It's real dangerous down there. And also chat room, remember, we have a command which is !succession. If someone asks what's going on or what's with this fort, just post that command, please. Sits, thanks for the 26 months. Appreciate you. They're not kaolinite, they're bauxite. Bauxite is the floor. I mean, I didn't start this. This was all Abraxas. Comment on the expansion of this guild hall. A weaver withdraws from society. Oh, we had a Baroness? Oh, I completely missed that bit. How long did the Baroness last? What happened to it? Is there a list of available commands? No. Because it would be longer than the chat times 500. The actual answer is I need to clean up my bot desperately in order to do something even remotely close to a command for a list of available commands. Or making a list of available commands. Also, I don't want to maintain and update a list of commands because they come and go. No ideas? Looks like she left. Well, then we never had a Baroness, I would think. Like, they would request it as part of trading, which hasn't been posted about anywhere.
For everyone.
Which hasn't been posted about anywhere, so that already means it's very unlikely that we had a Baron. Like, someone may have, like, visited as who was a Baron, but we clearly don't have a Baron then. Oh, this is a garbage dump. Okay. It's like, why is there a skeleton in the middle of the road? Thunderpants did not end already. Type an exclamation point succession. This is a different fort which only happens on Fridays. Thunderpants is alive and well and will continue. I'm not sure how that's the same situation as me, but because I'm not in that situation, Emmanuel, but if you don't want to play the video game, don't. Go do other things. I don't need to advise you on that. What they say is, I find myself in the same situation. I want to play Dwarf Fortress. You make me want to play, but I somehow don't. What would you advise? Go outside, touch grass, breathe fresh air, speak with people, get a hobby, play something else. Play Dwarf Fortress when you're ready and want to play Dwarf Fortress. Don't do it before. That's what showers are for, Dadrick. Let's see any make charcoal jobs. Charcoal. Let's just say 90. I disagree with that, Necron, on, like, all bases of that statement, but okay. We also have bedrooms we need to work on, so let's do that. You're doing a treadmill daily while playing DF? Yeah, there you go. I mean, like, when people say, like, I make them want to play the game, the worst, and you don't actually want to play the game, and you start to play, and you go, nah, I don't want to play. The worst thing that you can do is keep playing. And the reason for that is that's called burnout. The only way to get over burnout is to go do something else. If you're burnt out, you're just going to start to hate the game slowly. That's what happened to me in other games in the past. Just go play something else. You will have a better time and a better life for it. Come back when you're ready. The game won't go anywhere. I don't like that bedroom layout, actually, the more I look at it. So I'm actually just going to go through these real quick. Just swap that door. Those corners can get erased. That can stay. Well, no, that can't stay. No, it definitely looks like a swastika. We all see it. But, you know, such is life with a grid-based game. Can't quite put a finger on it. I mean, I did, so happy to help. I don't have any commands in the YouTube chat, no. YouTube folks. Well, thank you, Emmanuel, for the super chat. Chat, can I get a round of beers? We got an amount of money in a currency I don't know. Appreciate you. It is what it is. Yeah. All right. But no, genuinely. Like, if you're feeling burnt out on a video game, the worst thing you can do is just force yourself to play the video game. Hello, dwarves. How's the fortress? Pretty good, from what I can tell. Oh, fun. Fight has broken out. It appears one of my spirit masters... Or, no, who did that? Who started fighting? Human's body skids along the ground. Okay, but like, where did this fighting begin? Because two of my dwarves, well, specifically a goblin dancer and a child, are found dead. Seems all those fighting down here, or we've got dwarves reporting a crime, which is good. So let's see what the crime is. Well, they're all accusing the goblin dancer of committing a crime, with the crime being like basically trying to beat somebody up. And he's very much deceased, so also Primate Striker got implicated in a lot of crimes here. Which also includes like tantruming, so we'll convict that. Same with you, same with you, same with you, same with you, and obviously you. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Ah, I see. The goblin was brawling under the influence, so it was the influence of alcohol that what did us away. We're gonna need to expand our hospital, I think. Just had a tire replaced in your car. It was under warranty from the dealership back home. They sent a new tire down and paid for the amount for the amount and balance at the shop down here in Florida. Well, that's good. Well, good news is a lot of dwarves are taking care of their patients, but yikes. Also, Led, the Weaver, has created Unalism, a llama wool left mitten, and claims it is an heirloom in the name of the family ancestor Ral Solid Wheels. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is decorated with llama wool and encircled with bands of rectangular fire agate cabochons and chestnut, as well as it is made from llama wool. And this object menaces with spikes of bituminous coal and nickel. We have coal. Shit. On the item is an image of baguette cut gems in lead. On the item is an image of dwarves in fire agate. The dwarves are weeping. The artwork relates to the breach of the underworld by the midnight road of the Armory of Fingers in the mid-spring. Look at that. That's actually kind of cool. In the mid-spring of 275. I've never actually seen that written in art before. On the item is an image of a shining sun in llama bone. No, that's true. Into dem. That is very much true. I don't think I've ever seen that in art before. Indoor fort. Let's just grab the delete tool and do that, and that. Every other one doesn't matter, but it's fine. We'll do the extra smooths. Really can't stop crying about the giant hole. Yeah, exactly. Very much so. This is a llama wool left mitten. All craftsmanship or craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is decorated with llama wool and encircled with bands of rectangular fire agate cabochons and chestnut. It is made from llama wool cloth. This object menaces with spikes of bituminous coal and nickel. I think, who should we give this to? Should this be a symbol of the mayor? Perhaps? I think this could be a symbol of the mayor. Currently just has the earrings. I think we're going to do that. What's the cost of the fort now? The value of the fort? Not much. Not much. I mean, that also isn't that high of a value. The mayor is currently conducting a meeting. All right, maybe body disposal is actually the thing that we need. You know what would be a really easy way to dispose of bodies? Just throw them into hell. Like, actually, that would be a really easy way to do it. They hate the whole or what? Is 5 red faces a lot in your book? Because, like, it's not a lot. There's a forthcoming way of being easier to deal with trash. Dwarf Fortress trash disposal has been the same for the better part of a decade, so I don't know what you would mean by that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Forthcoming way that would make it easier to deal with trash. Get better at dealing with trash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, there isn't a better way of dealing with trash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dispose of it with an atom smasher or throw it into lava. Those are your 2 ways of disposing of trash consistently. I don't think there is any plans for that. And also, I wouldn't know if they were. I think I'm just going to build a drawbridge trash disposal over here. Because it's pretty easy. So I'm just going to go to about here, and I'll use this as trash disposal. 1, 2, oh, nope, not there. How about right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sure, perfect. Actually, that's even better. That it goes right into there. Because then I can just do this. And then, right underneath that, which is right here, Actually, let's do that one smaller. That'll do. Throw trash at the demons. I mean, I was kind of thinking about doing that, but this just seems more convenient. They really should make artifact mittens in pairs. Nah, how else are they going to be like Final Fantasy villains with only one glove? I mean, come on. Let's see how my bars are doing. Slow. Got dwarves doing the cleaning. We also need a more convenient well underneath this. Let's just smooth up as much of this as I reasonably can. Except for this top floor, because that's a waste of time. This is how I dispose of trash, when I don't have an easier method of doing it. I'm not sure what response you're expecting from me, so I will just simply say, ha ha ha. Funny joke. To that one. Clockwork. What other blocks do we have? Can we just go all the way up to the wall here? Let's go over here. Bauxite. And I'm just going to actually extend this right here. This will make sense in a second. Let's go walls. Walls. So they will walk in and out here, right? And then they'll walk into here to dump the stuff. All the bodies are going to go back in here. So they'll be relatively separated from everything else. Or decently separated from everything else at the very least. And I just need a doorway in and out, which I will put right there. Well, there you go, Tungdill. On what a good fortress should have, a fun story to tell afterwards. That's my advice on what a good fortress should have, Meme Lord in YouTube chat. Let's let them go build this and smooth. Also, hello, Picture Point. How are you on this fine day? How's work been? How's game dev stuff? Or the trying to get into game dev stuff? Okay, we're cutting through all of this. And I'm going to grab this and push it north. Just going to go right there. I think this got forbidden over here. Yeah, it did. Let's just go into here, go down to walls, and then click through all this so that it all gets unforbidden. Going to a magic show? Oh, neat. I couldn't tell you the last time I went to a magic show. Let's see, do I have any spare minecarts? I do. Fun. But yeah, this is going to be for disposing of all outdated garbage and refuse. And the reason this has stairs here currently still and I haven't built over top of it yet is because, well, building over top of things takes time. Let's just go down and do this for right now. We'll roll it this way. Borax, or bauxite, not borax. Then what I need is I need a trap. I'm in an ad break. I shouldn't be unpausing. This trap is going to be set so that creatures trigger. Only citizens trigger. Or citizens trigger. It's going to be tapped, and then it's going to be placed and connected to this sucker. So essentially, as dwarves walk in and out, they'll slowly be dropping stuff into here and crushing it under that. The problem here is the stairs may be an issue, which I'm now kind of thinking about. So I'm going to deconstruct one of these floors, dig another set of stairs as like a maintenance tunnel next to it, and then just wall these in, just so that it's not an issue. It's kind of the thought here. I mean, if you look at, like, if you're talking about boring through the earth, like, in a scientific sense, just go look up Mimir Mine. It's spelled like mime, M-I-M-R, I think. It's a Russian mine, and it's the deepest pithole mine in the world. To the point where, like, there should be creepypastas written about this thing. The Shady Clan! No, thank you. I don't need no shady clans. Got plenty of those already. That's maybe, like, your best example of, like, people irresponsibly burrowing into the earth. The way they did it is actually kind of fascinating, though. So it was Soviet Russia, and it was, like TNT, jet fuel, and dynamite and jet fuel, basically, is how they did it. Like, by all accounts, they shouldn't have done it, but they did. So now that we've got that hooked up, I'm going to link this pressure plate down here to this. Once this is linked up, this is just going to start opening and closing randomly. So let's follow that linking process. Although, actually, let's first go to that bedroom layer again. And I'm going to replace all those doors now. Now that they look less concerning. Yeah, that's one of those classic, I hope that's not intentional moments, but, you know. That's what happens when you deal with the internet as a whole. Unintended yikes or intended yikes is still yikes. Okay, so now that that's all done, just gonna hit that. Do this, thunk, and draw. We'll do those after, which should give us a good chunk more bedrooms. I can run through and see who and what need bedroom. It was gold and diamonds, wasn't it? I thought it was a diamond mine. Oh, it's in South Africa. Never mind. Sorry, I was still fixated on that pit mine. I like that pit mine purely because it's the only instance that I've heard of. I mean, maybe there's other instances of this where, like, aircraft aren't allowed to fly over top of it because it'll cause them to crash. Just the downdrafts of, like, just the giant hole, like, just drags them down. There's something about that that's kind of awesome. Got some really pissed off goblins in the fort. Okay, well, at least we're, like, mostly caught up for bedrooms now, which is good. There's a your mom joke in there somewhere. There's a your mom joke in there everywhere. Like, that's just a given. You work on a ton of mining infrastructure, mostly lime coal. I think it's keeping it safe that's fascinating to me. And before Russia creates the first man-made volcano. Is that thing even still active, though? Russians are looking for candy. Aren't we all? Okay, so with all this set up, let's throw another tile in here of bauxite. And then over here, I'm just going to make a refuse/corpse pile for everything. Fuck it, just for everything, probably. Or at the very least, refuse and corpses that are not dwarves, humans, or elves. I don't know if I'm going to throw clothing in here. I also don't want fresh raw hide in here. Also don't want bones. Well, I don't want llama bones specifically, and I don't want... What other livestock do we have? Dog bone. Removal too? Right, yeah. There's always a few that you need to remove from these, or should remove from these. Or is it yarn? Oh, I see. Well, you know what? I could just remove all of this, actually. Let's just not put any hair or wool in there. Make it easy for me. So, chat, what's your plans for the weekend? Look at all this rotten fish. Look at all this rotten fish. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go down into here. This is already opening and closing. I'm going to say, what are the odds that some dwarf stands on the drawbridge because it closes? And then gets crushed under this. There we go. So that is now how we are going to dispose of trash. Making orange sherbet. Ooh, share please. I will make a trash dump right there. I will go here and remove all this. I will go here and just say, you will actually just load all refuse types, but we're just going to hope that the filtering of this stockpile will do plenty. And, they should start dumping. We'll see how this goes. There it goes. Sweet. Trash disposal. Skulls for totems. I don't care that much about totems, but I'll remove skulls. Except for human, elf, and dwarf. So this is the pile of rotten shit. Gone. Stray llama skull, uh-huh. Well, I guess that's the stuff that was already in there. It's fine. Greylanger right foot. Is that our refuse pile? Only if you refuse to think of it as that. How often do they pull a lever? They're not pulling a lever. There is no lever. So up here is a pressure plate. When they walk in and out of this room to drop off refuse, they're stepping on the pressure plate. That pressure plate is what's triggering it, because it resets periodically. It's set to be triggered by citizens. Refuse the refuse pile, yes. Also, okay, so humor me here, chat and YouTube chat. Shmush Puppy says animal furry pool party this weekend. And then the first response is, do they make waterproof fursuits? And I have the exact same question. How did the fursuit, the pool party work? Or is it like you just wear the animal head and then jump in the water anyway and say fuck it? Or do you spend the next 6 months? Maybe that's why it's annual, so that you spend the next year drying it. Why the minecart? Because then I don't need to manually dump it. They do it automatically this way. They put it there and it immediately throws it into the bin, and I don't need to assign anything to be dumped. They just place it there and it's immediately chucked in. There's also a garbage dump spot there as well. Fursuits do cost more than most cars. Used cars. When the market's normal. Flaxert, hello. I could be doing better, but it's been okay. Othe Plainfaint has claimed the position of Lord of the Group of Springs. Also, didn't I assign the Baroness? Am I dumb? I think I did. That's quite the agreement. Hold on, let me scroll up in the Discord. I'm curious. Isn't it me who did that? Yeah, it was Sodell. Did Sodell die? Because we had a Baroness in the map, and then in chat it was stated that she just left, but... did you expel her or something? Oh no, she did die. That's a bummer. I wish I knew how she died. Because, I assigned a Baron at the end of the last stream of this fort. Unfortunately, I have, and so I have to tell people I really don't like it whenever they ask me if I've played it. But yes, I have in fact played Factorio. I'm not a fan. So I'll just throw that in there. You leave empty coffins and they claim them? That's how coffins work, yeah? Yeah, if you have coffins built, then they claim them when they need them. I mean, probably, but that's kind of like saying that, how do I word this? Civilization and Paradox games attract the same players. In some cases, yes. In others, they don't. I fucking hate Factorio, and anything that tells me to manage anything with conveyor belts, every now and again, there's people in my chat musing about how they would like it if Dwarf Fortress had conveyor belts. How to make me quit the game in, under 48 hours. Maybe do that. Or make me consider quitting the game. Would be do that. I absolutely hate that kind of management and that type of, input-output min-maxing. It's just the least pleasant thing you could make me do in a video game. That's all. I mean, minecarts aren't even remotely similar to how Factorio works. I don't know. I always feel like I have to be mean to make people, understand me here, but... they are extremely different. The one is a math game, the other's a sandbox about role-playing. They could not be more unalike. They have similar, like, camera angles. And I guess are both technically strategy games. I mean, of course there is, because, like, you know, there's crossover in almost every fan base to a degree, right? It's like there's crossover in the Dwarf Fortress community and the Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead community. There's crossover in the Dwarf Fortress community and, like, a lot of games. But that doesn't mean it's going to be one-to-one for everybody, and I don't like Factorio. I'm glad you have a game like that you like, Flaxert. What's my weekend plans? Try to stay alive. Hopefully be in a better mood by the end of the weekend than I was all of this week. Maybe finish setting up my networking stuff, if all the parts arrive. DF is an automation game if you want it to be, and it's not a very good one when it is. Watch Tekid videos. I mean, you can very heavily automate fortresses, but also the way you automate stuff in Dwarf Fortress is very different. The way you automate stuff in Dwarf Fortress is you go into this screen and you add in some if-then statements and forget about it. And just make sure you have enough of your materials. Factorio, the whole game is min-maxing automation. And that is, for me, that's a process of, okay, here's 3 recipes I need to make. I make those 3 recipes. Here's 2 more. Okay, here's 2 more. Okay, here's 5 more in a new material that changes how everything works, and now you have to rebuild the whole thing from the ground up to make it even remotely efficient. Fuck that, I don't want to play a stupid game anymore because that is the entirety of your fucking stupid garbage-ass game's progression. You don't complete Dwarf Fortress. No, I fucking hate Factorio. And I'm in a terrible mood. Not because of Factorio, I'm just in a terrible mood. Unrelated. Yeah, anyway, like, go play your game if you like it. No, I don't like it. How do you complete Dwarf Fortress? By being satisfied, actually, is probably how you complete Dwarf Fortress. I've been here since last fort. Hope things are going well. Well, cheers. I mean, I played a different fort yesterday, so I don't know what that means exactly. What's got me in a sour mood? I'm bipolar. I don't know how else to explain it. There's been construction outside of my house for 2 weeks. I haven't slept well in two and a half weeks because of it. It's summer. I generally don't like summer. I was up for 2 weeks, maybe more, and now I'm very, very, very down, and so I'm kind of not a loose cannon. I've been like this all week, maybe longer, maybe closer to a week and a half now. But it does give me a short fuse for some things. It's not even that hot. Like, it's not the fact that it's summer, really. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of summer, but I'm not normally this militantly anti-existing. But I could be like this in the winter, too. So I guess when people ask me any fun plans for the weekend, my response is going to be, I don't know, eat safety pins. Because, like, that's kind of where my brain is. And I kind of mean that with an attempt of dark humor, but existing is just a bit too simple, I guess. Yeah, I don't have that problem, fortunately. Flaxert. So yeah, I'm just trying to get through the week. One day at a time. That's my current plan for the weekend, is one day at a time. One day at a time. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't hate summer as much as I may. It's because I do get some bonuses such as nice garden food. What's my ideal weekend plan? Trying to decide if I humor that question or say what I really feel. I don't know, man. Can we just stop talking about my weekend? Can we do that? That would actually be really nice right now. So many dwarfs. All constructing. The weekend? Forgettable? Not my thing? Eh. I don't really have any thoughts on the weekend, personally. It's not the most... He's not unlistenable or anything, he's fine. Just very uninteresting. I heard that movie he made was bad. Thanks, Fantano. That's all I got. I think that naming yourself The Weeknd is really dumb. Just from, like, a branding perspective. Do I garden? Yes, I do. Less this year than in the past, but... I'm mostly just waiting on a few final parts to arrive to get my editing set up where I can edit off of my NAS completed, which is the goal. Maybe self-host my bot, so I don't have to host it on this computer while I'm streaming anymore. I also want to pull my network switch apart and put some quieter fans in it, because it's currently got two little fans that sound like jet engines. It's like having three PS3 stacked on top of each other under a blanket, which is pretty loud. So I'm now waiting on some AliExpress orders, which are supposed to arrive by Monday. I don't know. They're AliExpress orders, so they may or they may not. But ooh. Got a named shield. Medtub the militia captain has bestowed the name Fotethoroth upon a shield. Mini server rack in a closet? Not in a closet. Right here. Like, touching distance. I don't have any network connections in my closets. I would have to route cables through the walls, and I don't really want to do that. Not yet, anyway. Well, that's why they're the bane of your playthroughs. This is an aquifer. Aquifers are, like, the biggest gift to any fortress, and I get really kind of annoyed when I don't have one, because there's so many uses for them. It is a self-refilling infinite water resource. Don't use DF hack to make yourself worse at the game. If you have a skill issue with something, learn to work with it and how to use it. Aquifers are extremely useful. It's not bad if you have existing lines. It's not something I'm willing to do right now, to be honest. Why? 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 It's like, how many fishery shops do I even have? There can't be that many. Okay, let's just expand this over here. Never mind. I'll just go up to the corner here and just plop some fishery shops, because I clearly don't have enough fisheries. Pro tip about aquifers. Figure out where the bottom is and go 5 layers beneath that and build there. You won't ever have problems. And then when you need them, tunnel back up and use them. That's a pretty good weekend, LDM. Since you're planning to work double tonight, oof. Best of luck, dude. Get some sleep time if you can. Probably only need the one legendary Fisher Dwarves. Are we not auto-preparing raw fish? We've got so many of them. Automatically clean fish. Well, I'll just give these a... I'm going to give these a boost. So there's clearly too many. Double right after vacation, always worth it, right? I mean, are you saying the vacation was worth it or something else here? Because that doesn't seem worth it to me at all. I'm making meals. Brew drink from plant, make lavish meal. What's the condition on that? Let's just bump that number up. And also I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to go to kitchens. Going to allow most of these seeds to be cooked. Clear out a lot of the seed supply that we don't need. Because we're not surface farming. Now that I realize it, I don't actually know where are we farming? Well, I don't think we're underground farming. So I guess we're just gathering? Doesn't really surprise me, but... Oh, no, we are. Farming over here. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Let's make some cheese. Wait, where are we above ground farming then? Because I'm not seeing it if we are. Or is it just surface gathering? Who started this one? I started it and basically built this. Then 2 people took over, then I played a little bit, and then Abraxas played it, and now it's back to me. Human bowman. Human bowman. Maybe you're here. This person. Sharing all kinds of stories. We'll see. Linux, we'll see. Sorry about being prickly today. Where did that human bowman go? Lost him. Oh, there you are. Sharing some rumors from abroad. Only if they see the ceiling and know it negates the surface or the cavern soil bonus. In the middle of the fort. Where are we going? Okay, let's see. Oh, I see, right there. Is it mostly just rope reeds then? Yeah, but at least a noise festival only lasts for a weekend, though. A trickle of water is not going to damage your FPS. Like at all. Hey, Piticato. Okay, I'm just waiting for most of this water to dry up before I go building more in there. Oh, you go make cheese. Alright, we should be through ads. Seems like trash is being very effective. Dealing with all of those rotten things. I do want to get rid of this. I also want to get rid of this. And I also really want to get them not fishing up here, because this is silly beyond all reason. And I'm going to remove some of the gather plants thing from here, so that it's not overlapping. And I'm going to make this into a fishing zone, so that they fish inside the fortress. Because, believe it or not, that's generally the wise decision. And then I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to standing orders, other. Only fish in designated zones. I mean, that is kind of like what's going on outside is a heart. It's more of a industrial. It's like a minimal industrial right now. It just kind of sounds like a hammer repeatedly hitting something at the speed of... You know, it's pretty good. At the very least, I don't have the mental health destructive noise generator anymore, which was just a giant vacuum cleaner vacuuming up gravel. You know, you take the good with the bad. I do actually have cruise ships coming by here, like, constantly. And I actually really like the cruise ships. Like, maybe I'm weird, but I do actually really enjoy the cruise ships. The cruise ships are kind of pleasant sounding. All right, I need a central lever hub somewhere. Like, do we have a spot with a bunch of levers in it? Also, how's the value of this? Not even close enough. But yeah, I feel like I apologized a lot in the last few days, but sorry about the weird moods. It just happens sometimes, and I just have to do my best to get through it. My only real regret about this community fort so far is it's now harder for me to take days if I feel I need to, because I feel that I need to... once I've committed to doing a thing on a particular day at a particular time at a particular frequency, I kind of have to do it. So I think likely what we're going to do is once this community fort is done, whatever we do for the next one, I'm going to either change the day that I do it or make it a little bit more lenient so that I could take a day if I need it. Because realistically, on any other normal week, I would have taken today off. Sometimes I just know that my mood is going to be prickly and it's going to be difficult to get around it. So hopefully I'm able to get through today smoothly. See how the value of this is coming along. Still pretty bad. Great. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm playing. It doesn't matter currently. What matters is let's just get through today's stream in a positive function. That's what matters, Necro. I'm not going to sit here and think about it and worry about it too much because that's just going to lead to questions, and I don't need that. I don't need that, really. I don't. That's how you're going to make me, I don't know, get shouty? Hopefully not. So all I request from you, chat, today is to just keep the chat moving. Let's get through this 1 year of time. We're one season in, so we're 1/3 of the way there. And I'm going to keep working on this trap as things dry up. Because I think all of the stuff has thawed now. Let's just go across here and go blocks and say, what do we have? I got 123 chalk blocks. This is a pretty big waste of chalk, but oh well. Plenty of complaints, but we're getting through it. Is how my day's been so far. How's your day been so far, Lamb Lambs? Just doing work on the community fort near the big hole next to the, or I guess quite literally in the middle of the street. I'm setting it up so that it'll be easy to drop any invading armies into this hole. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I have no interest in automating my garden. Kind of for the same reason that, like, I don't like pre-cooked meals. It's a meditative hobby for me, and especially in the current setup like that I have. I live in an apartment, right? So I'm gardening on a porch. I don't have much space. It's not a lot of work to maintain it or water it or anything. It takes me maybe 15 minutes a day tops. If I had more space, I'd contemplate the idea, but it's not needed. Don't have the space. I like the hobby aspect of gardening. I like to have an excuse to, or something to make me go outside. Stick my hand in the dirt. I don't know what that is. What's an obulate? How would I do that? For some reason, I'm thinking that's like a circular shape. Do you have mounted plant pots? Ay. First off, I've lived here for 6 months. Second, there's a vile force of darkness that's around. Do you have rail-mounted plant pots? Vile force seeking a parley. Let's see if they actually attack. Ooh, they do. This is a very small army. No, they're gonna go splat when they hit the bottom of the hole. I am not gonna forget about them until they die. Also, goblins are immortal, so that would be a bit of a moot point. Mostly because goblins are immortal. So goblins being immortal would make that a bit redundant. All right, let's see. How's best? I mean, I could just let them in here. I do need to hook another lever up to this, though. So I haven't actually done that yet. So because I was distracted with this, I'm just going to ignore it. And find a place for a lever. This seems like a good place for a lever. I also need more mechanisms, because we don't have any mechanisms being made. Let's do 20. My favorite gardening experience is spraying my cabbages with a hose to get the hornets to take off and fly away so that I can harvest them. It's like, oh, there's like 30 hornets in the base of this cabbage. Doing what? Eating the slugs. Great. Problem. There's 30 hornets in this cabbage. I mean, no slugs. There wasn't a slug anywhere near those cabbages because they all died. They were all consumed. I mean, hell, I could see the slugs getting carried away by the killer attack murder helicopters that are... I used to garden in a community garden that would have kicked me out if I tried to put beer traps in. So, no. I know that they work, though. I used to do that on my porch where I used to live, but the community garden where I would do bigger things. Also, like, you didn't need them because the hornets ate them all. But the, that community garden, there was no reason to ever set up traps for anything because there was so many predators that would just eat all the problems. I love the spiders in gardening. Spiders are chill. You just kind of pick them up and move them. Although we don't really have any ones that are a problem if they bite you, so it's a bit of an advantage there, I guess. I should just deconstruct this. You get a flock of soccer fans turning up instead? Yeah. Besides, beer traps plus hornets equal drunk hornets. And dead slugs. So, I would rather just have no slugs and less hornets than drunk hornets. They wouldn't work on you, though, Tiny Hippo, because the idea of a beer trap is slugs eat the beer, or they drink the beer, and it kills them instantly. Like, they die of a spontaneous alcohol poisoning. So it wouldn't work on you, because it wouldn't kill you. You would need a lot. You'd maybe need to, like, literally drown in it. This room kind of looks like a butterfly the more I look at it. I mean, that's what I use to catch fruit flies. Although, thankfully, I haven't needed to catch fruit flies at all since moving here. So growing up, I grew up around a lot of plum trees. And those plum trees would drop their plums eventually and then rot. Well, the plums would rot, the trees wouldn't. And the problem with this is, why is this elf naked? Because this elf hasn't joined the faction and has no culture. And if you have no culture, they get no clothing. Although she is wielding a glove, which actually leads me to believe that maybe they could equip clothing. Do we have cloth? Do we have a clothing industry? Or maybe that's something I could do today. I'm starting to look at this and go, maybe we don't have a clothing industry. Maybe I just need to make a bunch of clothing. Yeah, we don't have a clothing industry. I'll fix that. Let's just say yarn, trousers, yarn, shirt, shoe. Okay. Toga? No. Cloth. What can I make? Dress, crafts, cloak, loincloth, mitten. Okay. Dress. We'll just do 25 of each. And I'll just do these yearly for right now. And I'm assuming I have a clothing thing set up. Yeah, we do. It's down here. I can do better than that. But they're naked because I haven't equipped clothing yet. That's why they're naked. And when they have no clothing, it means they have no culture because they're not part of a faction. So, Just Falling. Thank you very much for the tier 1. Appreciate you. Jack, can I get a round of beers? For just falling. Forgotten Beast Struxel has come. An enormous one-eyed beaver. Oh, this is gonna be good. It has a pair of long antennae and a bloated body. Its tail pair is patchy. Beware, it's fire, god damn it! So you know what that means? Appreciate it just falling. All of the cavern layers are full of demons. It's gonna go fight demons. Oh, it also just appeared in hell, because fuck it. Look at that big cutie pie. The Frothy is his name. Damning is his game. I am very curious of what it's going to accomplish, if anything. Well, it's killed one. But, well, one, okay. But it got thrown into the pits of nothingness and unexisted. But it does appear that a bunch of these vomit fiends died. Rip Beaver, homie. You were a real one. Yeah, they slammed into each other a bunch of times, and that was enough to kill them. And yeah, it just got bumped into the lava. Great time. That. Let's go figure out what I'm gonna go do with these goblins. So this lever is connected, but if I pull that lever, it does also give access to a bunch of demons to my house. So I don't really want to do that. I'm just gonna do that. And put in another drawbridge here real quick. Let's make that one out of lead, because it's kind of dramatic. I'm assuming there's a joke there, but I don't get it. I don't get the joke at all. This here needs to go this way. And I'll just use the lead bars, because fuck it, and I got tons of them. Oh, well, Dwarf Fortress doesn't have vanilla flavor, so I don't know how you would do it then. That seems like it's outside of Dwarven technology, but probably something that's pretty easy to mod in. It's kind of a half-assed partial construction, but I feel like I knew this in regards to the beaver thing, but I'd also done my best to forget, so I will just continue down that road of forgetting. Yeah, but like, you know, I will also reiterate that I tried my best to forget, and I think I will continue along the path of forgetting. Don't really care how much of the beaver can be used. Leave those little dam builders alone, Ming. Nature's architects deserve to be protected at all costs. I want to not be here right now. Tungdale. That's what I want. So, you know. You can tell me what I want or don't want, and I'll just say that I don't want to be here. Now let's see if we can make these goblins fall to hell. Let's see if we can do that. Chat, can you do me a giant favor? Let's post a bunch of beers. I want that everything that Tongue Dill has written in the last 2 minutes to go away. Or I want a conversation about anything else. I don't think that should be difficult. That should be pretty easy. Thank you. I'm aware. I didn't make it myself. It was there when I got here. Pidicado. It did its best. It did great. What are you talking about, Rassar? It did great. All right. You right here connect to this. So now what I can do is I can remove this. Wait for these to get constructed, because we're almost there. Wait for that to get hooked up. And then I just need a burrow. This burrow is going to be pretty simple. It's going to be here. It's going to be here. It's going to be here. And it's going to be the rest of the map. And I clicked out of the burrow making screen. So let's try that again. Let's get rid of that. Everybody's going to be assigned to this in a moment. But for now, I'll just leave it off. So we can get that link done. Like you, hauling this shell mechanism. I agree with Fupa Troopa's druid in Diablo 2. They were playing Diablo 2, and their druid said that was not designed by nature's architect. Correct. Neither were platypuses, but I digress. I digress. What sort of dwarf doesn't like baubles? What's wrong with baubles? Dwarves like baubles? Oh, this dwarf? Well, see, here's the thing. They're not a dwarf. This is a human. If you're talking about why they're fixated on those baubles, it's because it's a human, not a dwarf. Vakar is the woodcrafter has been taken by a Fey mood. Moodith of the Fey. So why is this human not fixated on these baubles? Because it's a human. If it was a dwarf, it would be fixated on those baubles. Obviously. We've got a dwarf that's claimed to craft dwarf's workshop. Let's keep following the link. Yeah, just a very beardy human. Well, it says human right there in its name. So, Mr. Scolded Jane right here. Husband of Mita and father of Istro. Also, a human bard has been missing for a week, apparently. Well, that's awkward. Haven't seen them fighting or anything, but we lost a human bard somewhere. Somehow. Sometime. Someday. Probably, crushed by my drawbridge, actually. Wouldn't surprise me. We do kind of have an automated murder bridge. I think it's a giant crow, isn't it? Okay, so you're linked up and you're linked up. All right, since all these are linked up, let's enable this. Make sure that's done and deny this. And then close these. That's a lot of vomit. Poison dwarfs. We may actually have to, like, prevent the dwarves from being able to drink as much for a bit. Because holy shit. Okay, so the outer drawbridges are shut. Let's follow this pathetic siege of invaders into the fortress. Chat, can I get a vile force of darkness? Because we are under siege, as pathetic as this siege attempt is. And I'm going to see if I can drop them into hell. If you have a falling dwarf emote, now's a good time to use it. If you're lurking, now's a good time to look up. And hope that the dwarves are able to pull the lever before they're off of it. Also this lever. Sag. I'm actually going to pull that door lever. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'll lock these two doors, because I got this convenient human in here now. Go pull that lever, exactly. Now this closes this. Thunk. Which they'll then walk forward and be like, da-ba-derp-a-derp-a-derp-a-doo. Until they hit the doorway. Come on, chat, we got the falling emote. Should use that. And they're gonna be like, ah, crap. We've been fooled. Well, attempt number 2. So, now that I have that convenient human stuck in that room, all I need to do is wait until that first goblin crosses the line, and then do this. And say, please do that now. They do it now. And let's follow this goblin. Well, one of them made it through. I'll tell the main squad to go kill. There's just bits of goblin in midair. Like, everywhere. Hold on, let me just... Okay, you just unexisted yourself, basically. You landed there successfully. You're up here. Most of them are all, like, in random places outside. Oh, the one that made it into the fort, like, you know, what is your name? Okay, hold on. I, like, can't click on them even though their bodies are still there. Do I ever use hammerers? Constantly and in lots of forts. Yes. Unless you mean the roll hammerer, and yes, also, I use that. Ozud. Okay, so Ozud is dead. The one that's just in bits. They must have, like, hit the wall or something. Well, I call that a success. But I now need to go up to here and close this pretty quick so that the demons don't get out. And then the next thing I need to do is I need to go over here with my very convenient human and get them to pull this lever. And then I need to go here, and then I need to get my very convenient human to pull both of these levers in no particular order. Didn't even make it into hell. Just got noped out of existence. And then right here, pull that again. And make sure this is... It's like nothing ever happened. I'm glad it helped, the Tender Waffle. And it looks like the main squad were able to kill that other goblin that just got injured because he gone. And here's a little pile of crud from the body, of course. I'm just gonna go over to this sucker right here. And just say melt. No, requires fuel. Do I not have fuel? Am I out of wood? I'm out of wood. Well, since I'm out of wood and the siege is gone, let's open the doors up. And go get some wood. Because that's what we've earned. We've earned some wood. Is nobody felling trees? Oh, also, should probably turn this off. To have a casual siege and then all of a sudden you get dropped to hell before you even hit the floor in some examples. No, totally. Like, I'm amazed by the ones that, like, seemingly exploded in midair. Like, did they hit the edge? Like, did they try to grab the edge and, like, their arms just flew off? Like, how does that happen? Like, seriously, I genuinely would like to know how that happens. This is one hell of a trash disposal setup, let me tell you. That's definitely how that human got killed. So there's blood down there of Sero, and he disappeared. I guess I should memorialize that human, hey? Somebody died by falling into the trash chute and getting crushed. Yeah, no, they probably died on impact with colliding with the wall, right, Yoshi? We've also got wood that needs to be put away. Let's just life hack this and get rid of this, get this wood hauled away quicker. The question is, which direction are you going? That's fine. It'll just be enough to bring a whole bunch of stuff down to a stockpile. Yeah, well, that would also require the hole to be shallow enough for stuff to be able to be flung up and out of the hole. I've kind of built it in such a way that that shouldn't happen because it's deep enough, but I've seen that happen due to like brawls happening next to it as well. That's kind of my assumption. Another Forgotten Beast has arrived. It's also going to get killed by demons most likely. This one is Thickivi. Ossiquilia has come, a great feathered camel. It has 2 broad horns, and it squirms and fidgets. Its dark indigo feathers are patchy, beware its webs. All right, chat. I'll place your bets. Will it kill any? Yes or no? Will it get a kill in? That looks nothing like a camel video game, but it does look pretty, though. It's very purple. 5 demons. It has killed a goblin and a human and a troll and a Manera. I really want to see a Forgotten Beast with a uniform assigned. It's like, this Forgotten Beast is in a squad. It's big boy, that's true. That is indeed true. It could also just, like... There could also just somehow not be any in this map, even though there's one, like, right here that could fly down there and fight it if it wanted, but... Oh. It's very busy murdering all of the... You know, all of the Moneras. Those are Moneras, right? No, Ruthrers. Not Moneras. It's very busy murdering all of the Ruthrers. It's doing good work so far. It's got webs. Webs aren't that bad as long as you've got Mark Dwarves. As long as you can, like, keep a safe-ish distance. But yeah, when they get into melee, surprisingly out of nowhere, they're scary. But as long as you're able to keep a safe distance and pick away at them. Yeah, unless they got them on a ramp. You never used Mark Dwarves before the recent update? I've been using them for the last couple of years. And they've always been very effective at taking out things like fire beasts and ranged beasts with things like dust and webs. However, they're just a lot less unruly now. Although I have seen some people saying that they're worse now, which I think is really funny. It's like, oh, okay, so now you come out of the woodwork to defend the thing that you like. But, you know, it's impossible to satisfy everybody. There doesn't seem to be many demons in that layer, so I'm gonna not worry about it so much. The human Lieutenant Lomoth Sanguanino has come. Oh, hey, it's this person. That's that person who was mentioned. But the fact that they're a lieutenant. Oh, are you one of my people? Right. I know how to spell. How do you spell your name? They're just straight up not here. Must have been from a little while ago and they must have left quickly. Yeah, they must have left quickly. I need to interrogate that person when they come back. No, it's definitely a visitor, but I thought that only just popped up, so it was like throwing me off. If it is in fact just a visitor, I need to interrogate them when they come back because they're a lieutenant, and lieutenants are never up to anything good. Okay, sweet. I expanded the right one. So basically they fill up this stockpile with wood and it very quickly turns into this. Filling up. Yeah, it's when they leave that quickly that I'm like, basically being called a lieutenant is the equivalent of, like, being called a gang member. And Dwarf Fortress is like, oh, you work for a necromancer. Got it. It's almost always what that means. Oh, I should probably let this person out, hey? You know, just the person who's stuck, like, operating my lever. The militia captain has bestowed a name upon a steel spear. Speaking of steel spears... Bars. Got 15 steel bars. Let's do steel shield, steel breastplate, steel greaves, steel helm. Except I only need, like... That doesn't matter. Only need, like, 4 shields, like 4 breastplates, not 44, 4. 4. And 4. Poor lever human. Well, thanks for going to reminding me. I did spot it, but I made it to where it needed to be. Let's get some beds in. It's a lot of doors that we have. Let's make 10 beds. And let's get these beds assigned. These random poets deserve rooms too, because most of these are unhoused. So I'm just going to kind of go down the list and add some of the less happy people to bedrooms, so at the very least they have a space to call theirs, which will help keep them happier because they do live here. Because they're just visitors, they don't get beds. That was a lord. Let's throw you back in there. All right. Also, these are not assigned. More bedrooms. You go here. You go here. You go here. And you go there. But yeah, I'm glad you were going to point out that I'd forgotten about the said lever human. Are we making blocks? No, we are not. Let's just make 250 blocks. And then continue to dig. Is what the clothing situation looks like. I'm just slowly remedying it. I don't think anybody's done much with it. I kind of presumed somebody would have done stuff with clothing, but that was my own naivete. I tend to just presume that that's one of the first things people deal with. But it seems that the answer there is no. So I will be working on that today. So all the buildings are uniform. I've done that, sure, and then given up because I run out of the material that I was using. But not fire clay specifically. I barely ever do anything with clay, ever. But yeah, no, I mean, if you look at most of my forts, this is not representative of what my forts look like usually. This is a community fort, right? So many different people have worked on this fort. Whereas, like, my forts, I almost always go in with some sort of color palette. But it's rarely just a single one. If you go look at the VODs for the older fort, Fire Orb, that fort was like entirely made out of obsidian and green glass, which started to make my eyes hurt after a while. It was hard to look at. It was just like, wow, there's so much green. Is too much green. 'Twas far too much green. Let's also set this to priority number 1 down here. Because I would like this. Don't know how big it is, but I would like it. Vokar, the woodcrafter, has created Gareth Sugsgore, an alder cup, and offers it to the Midnight Road. This is an alder cup. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is encircled with bands of alder. This object menaces with spikes of palm wood. I lost my spot. And on the item is an image of Rigoth Searchhammers, the dwarf in Fire Agate. Rigoth Searchhammers is laughing. The artwork relates to the fey mood of the dwarf Rigoth Searchhammers in Underhome in the mid-spring of 279 last year. I'm going to put that cup right here. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put stuff around it. It's a Fey Mood cup about a Fey Mood mood. Yeah, it's a Fey Mood themed cup based on the Fey Mood that somebody else went on. Cupception, sure. Also, if I check bars, got 218 silver. Let's do 2 things. Silver bolt and silver warhammer. Make 20 silver warhammers and 20 silver bolts. Because this still isn't high enough value yet. One. Tiny hippo. Hello, Rexar. Got the cup in place. What is the value of that cup anyway? It's not terrible. Dwarf, you've picked the worst possible spot to socialize. You know that, right? The reason you picked the worst possible spot is I am going to finish building this, and then you're going to get locked in here. That is the cup of a carpenter. Mm-hmm. And this is the cup of a farmer's guild. There really isn't tiers to metal. There's density, weight, and sharpness. Heavy things are better for blunt weapons because they're heavier and do more blunt damage. Whereas sharper things are better for cutting damage. But sharp weapons can be used for blunt damage. So as an example, in adventure mode, if you have a sword, you can hit something with the sword, like with the butt of the sword, and just go bonk, or slap it with the side of the sword, and that's considered a blunt attack. Or you can stab them or slash them. So if you're running around with a silver sword, you're better off using like the handlebar bonk smack attack and just whacking them with the butt of it instead of like trying to stab them. So it depends on what, you know, material that sword is made out of. Exactly, Abraxas. Exactly. Holy Grail indeed. I've built them myself before. I like them sometimes. They're a little annoying to keep consistent, I find. At least the way I build stuff, but I like them. They look nice in this fort. They're a bit annoying to, like, line with walls, though. Got another kobold. So where is that beast? I have no idea how I would justify this as an in-game lore event. But it would be very easy to catch this Forgotten Beast. Well, easy in relative terms, I suppose. It would be very easy to catch this Forgotten Beast. Trap it in the hallway, and then use cage traps to catch demons. Not going to use it as a Silk Farm. Silk Farm's a waste of perfectly good Forgotten Beast. Also, for reasons that I've explained more times than I can remember, in this version of the game, you don't want to use Forgotten Beasts for a Silk Farm. It's a terrible idea. Because Forgotten Beast Silk is untradeable, because it has no value, supposedly. Which I think is a bug. But unless it's in a bin, you can't trade it. At least the ones that can fly, Neezer. At least the ones that can fly. That's exactly what I'm doing. Clockwork. Just trying to think. So I won't really have a good way of blocking it in. I do also know that Forgotten Beasts made of, like, fire may burn through non-fireproof cages. So we should keep that in mind as well. Thankfully, we got plenty of livestock that we can use as a lure. You've not been able to get a Forgotten Beast to fire Silk at enemies yet anyway? Well, I mean, this would work to make them fire Forgotten... to make the Forgotten Beast fire Silk at enemies, but... So just copy this setup once it's done. Let's throw in more chalk. Actually, I'm just going to move this rope. Sorry, critter. I'm going to move this rope. I think what I might end up doing is just moving the beast. When trapped, for setting up cage traps with webbing anyway. What? Sorry, I'm having a hard time comprehending that sentence. What does that mean? I am going to need to have a way to get this Forgotten Beast out of here without making it leave the room. So what I'm going to do... Word salad? Yeah. It's like a detailed salad, too. I'm gonna also probably need another conveniently trapped human. Oh, the Farmers Guild still wants that Grand Guild Hall. I guess that I've never successfully completed it. Let's see if this completes it. Yes. It's now technically a Grand Guild Hall, even though my appraiser is terrible. I'm very sad that the Baroness died, though. Like, that's actually kind of bumming me out. Like, I was really kind of excited to see where that Baroness would go, but I guess not. Oh well. Human caravan has approached. Do you know how she died, or was it just like in a brawl somewhere? Wait, no wagons? Big sad. Um, let's do cloth sock and cloth tunic. Do 25 of both of those. And again, do these yearly. In the tavern amidst the chaos of a brawl. Yeah. Happens to the best of us. I could sell I know I did this before. I could sell a bunch of puppies. Yeah, let's sell some livestock. I had some fun with that last time. Let's do alder and oak. It also gives me a way to get rid of some of the non-metal cages. Well, cheers, Calm Tree, in YouTube chat. Hopefully the tutorials have been helpful getting you into the game. If you do need additional help, the best place to go is probably the Discord server or one of the live chats, either Twitch or YouTube. There's always some people around who can help. You want to know one of the most annoying things about this construction right now, chat? Is one of the sounds that they're creating sounds like a phone vibrating at a distance if you're not paying a lot of attention. So I keep on thinking my phone's vibrating. It's not. Optimal CPU for Dwarf Fortress. Based on just like community polling and my own experience, the Ryzen X3D chips are the best. I have a 7800 X3D and it runs about 150% better than my i7 7700. Because individual clock speed is what you're looking for. So you want high single core clocks, primarily. Mule? Got 2 mules? Also, digging only hurts your frame rate once, right? And channeling is one of the most frame rate intensive things you can do in the game, so. Yeah, also that, the extra cache on the X3D CPUs help, for sure. Yeah. We'll just sell these animals to them. I have a 7800 X3D and it was huge. It was very much an $800 purchase that was worth it when I bought it. Fupa Troopa in YouTube chat says, my brother is a regional manager for Intel and gets free chips every year and he uses AMD. So what you mean is your brother is rich and has a high-paying job. That's what you mean. That's what you mean. You want to send me some of those chips, man?
Dwarfs.
Ryzen 5800X 8-core processor, 4.2 gigahertz. Sure, but that's not one of the X3D chips, I don't think. It's also an older Ryzen 7, isn't it? Greg and Then Some. Jack, can I get a round of beers for Greg and Then Some, keeping that subscription alive for a 9th month? It's good to have you back. I mean, Ryzen chips did that 5 years ago. Like, the brand loyalty amongst CPUs is a funny thing. Oh. Well, duh. Okay. Why do I have 2 trading depots? The hell? Sitting here at the wrong one. God damn it. Like, where did all these merchants go? Yeah, but multiple traders can trade at the same thing at the same time. Nah, Sun chips are peak, I'm sorry. Let's do cage. Dog cage. Oh, is the other one not deconstructed yet? You're interested in getting something portable and plugged into a monitor for gaming while I not have a PC. Just get a Steam Deck, right? When isn't that like the communal advice these days? Just get a Steam Deck. Get a refurbed Steam Deck. Or go on Facebook Marketplace and find somebody selling one. Or something. But you can't find a cheap one. It's literally the best value you can get for parts. Or one of the best. At least if you're trying to play games. If you're not trying to play games, then just get a cheap laptop. But like if you're trying to play games, that is probably the best prices you can get. Also got some more migrants. Whomst arriving? Maybe now's my opportunity to build another squad. Not you. And a duck. And a pony. Low stamina. Poor memory. Well, it's good. You'll forget all the chaos that you cause. Finds helping others emotionally rewarding and doesn't seek out excitement. Boo! Often feels discouraged. Doesn't handle stress well. Well, how about you? You're a novice Marksdorf. Excellent. Another novice Marksdorf. Finds tranquility in a peaceful day and finds maintaining decorum a silly and fumbling waste of time. She can be very happy and optimistic, can handle stress. Apparently got a couple of Marksdwarves that have appeared in the fort over time. Another Fisher Dwarf. We're going to end up with a massive fish industry, aren't we? Okay, let's jump back over here. Oh. It's my broker's turn to patrol the top wall. Did I just stick you into the squad? I think I did. Okay. I'm going to replace you. Go put your items in the bin, Mr. Brokers. And then go trade, please. I feel like I've swapped every other generation that I've bought into. Where, like, it's always one or the other. It's like I very rarely have both. Although I guess technically right now I have both. Because my NAS is an Intel system and my computer is a AMD system. I think brand loyalty when it comes to... Wow, that's a heavy container. I am amazed that's within their allowed weight limits. That is a heavy thing. Holy shit, I'm just gonna buy those picks. As for a lot of flour and bags, I'm not totally sure why. Because this shit's expensive? Sure there was some logic to this, but I don't know what it was, so I'll just buy the bags instead until my broker gets mad at me. Or their broker gets mad at me, rather. Just to about there. Trade for it. Thank you. That's not a bad price at all for a used Steam Deck. Like, I don't know. I would stay away from the Switch. The Switch is like... I don't know. If you're considering a Switch, I can't give you advice because I think that's kind of a bad platform. Especially in the current year. It's just a platform that's been showing its age for a while and is now really showing its age. Switch 2 is overpriced, certainly. But, like, the Switch 1 is a inferior system to any of the handheld computers. And at that point, then, like, you could do that without modding it, without worrying about the integrity of your console on a handheld that's a PC, without having to mod it. I guess I don't understand really what you're trying to do, and your interests and needs are completely different than mine, so I don't think I can be particularly useful in this situation, is the way I see it. Because I don't really understand what it is you need then. If you want accessibility to everything, get a Steam Deck. If you want a Switch, get a Switch. Like, it's kind of two different discussions. Because if you're just gonna steal shit, then, like, you can do that on a Steam Deck too. And you have more variety. Like, so if budget's the concern, then, like, well, get a Steam Deck because you have more variety. It's more... Anyway, I can't help you in this discussion and will not enter this conversation anymore. Then get a Steam Deck. Based on the last thing you said in my chat, get a Steam Deck. If that's what you want, get a Steam Deck. But you don't want to listen to me or take my advice, so I don't understand why we're having this discussion. Switch is a bad investment in the year 2025. All right, we desperately need more throughput on our ore. So what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to replace this with another one of these. And then I'm going to go down here. I'm going to expand down here. And I'm going to make 3 or 4 in a row smelters. That's called brand loyalty, Calm Tree. If you disagree with somebody's business approach and buy somebody else's brand out of spite, that's brand loyalty. It's just a different form of brand loyalty. Not having brand loyalty is buying whoever makes the better product. Having brand loyalty is having whatever reason to or to not buy a product. Calm Tree is talking about chips and computer hardware in the YouTube chat. Talking about brand loyalty of Intel versus AMD. The Axe Lord has bestowed the name Rabadich Katam. Mangtot Gasul upon a steel battle axe. No. Steam is harmless in Dwarf Fortress. It's not like old school. They even patched this out of Caves of Cud, but there was a point in Caves of Cud where touching Steam was an insta-gib. Yeah. This was like, I don't know, 2015 or earlier even. For Caves of Cud. It was very early in the Caves of Cud eras. Metalsmith is going to go right here. Iron Anvil. Yay! I was worried I wouldn't have a second one. Bauxite blocks. Perfect. And then down in here, let's go furnaces, smelter, one. I don't want to do it out of chalk. I want to do it out of bauxite so that the stuff's consistently red. I'm not surprised it's harmless, because look what Deadly Dust does. You could just, like, bullshit some reason together that it's harmless because dwarves have big beards and lots of hair or whatnot. But, like, I'm happy it's harmless because it would be... If there's steam in an area, you've got bigger problems already. Usually the ground's already on fire. Caves of Cud was a fun game. I will play it more at some point. Maybe when they release a DLC. Ah, I guess this is a little dangerous. Yep. Yes, it is a bit dangerous. Now the question is, do I care? I kind of don't. I could make it lower down, though. Especially because, like, most of the stuff going in here is fucking fish. Like, let's just look at this for a second. Yeah, they mentioned that their next thing that they were going to work on was going to be a DLC. I was going to say, that sounds like an adult film. But no, I haven't. I don't generally watch comedies. Skits for 2 hours? That sounds insufferable. Not like even remotely something I would enjoy. That sounds awful. So why are you asking if we've seen this awful thing that you enjoy for some reason? Or like to ask people about for some reason? Okay, so now we're waiting here. And then this is going to be connected to this right here. And then I'll fill this in with blocks. Okay, you're done. Viral Looney Tunes, more or less? Not even remotely close to anything I'm interested in. Okay, let's get through this. Guess I'll go down to over here. I'm not sure what this was originally for, but I'm just going to put slabs in it. Oh. Apparently I need slabs. I thought I had slabs. Let's make diorite slabs. Cheap, effective, and we have lots of it. Okay, let's see how this works. Yeah, I don't know. The last movie I watched was... I rewatched a movie called The Raid Redemption. And that was like maybe a month ago. I don't really watch a lot of movies. Movies are something that I don't generally enjoy doing alone. I would rather just like watch like YouTube videos practically, or just listen to podcasts and do something else unrelated. Unless like I have somebody over, and that doesn't happen very often, so. Raid Redemption. If you like action, if you like John Wick, or if you've seen John Wick, you'd like The Raid. Zenang the clother has been possessed, so we're going to get some sort of clothing-related object, most likely. Dwarf is dizzy. I presume you are moving down towards the clother shop, which you are. You've claimed it. Grabbing spider silk cloth. Apparently I've heard like weirdly good things about this Superman movie, which I think is kind of like impossible to believe. But at the same time, like, if they just understand that Superman is a stupid character who does stupid things, who's like larger than life and ridiculous, and they just roll with that, they could do it. Like, in order to make a Superman movie, you just have to accept that Superman is really stupid and make a comic book movie. People stopped making comic book movies, especially in the DC universe. They just made, like, weird, grim action movies for some reason. What's the main difference between my two YouTube accounts? Apparently they're just following your other one. The one that you're watching right now, I stream on and make edited content for. The other one is just VODs. Blind Extras is just VODs. Yeah, I'd rather just watch YouTube, thanks, Tongue. Also, I'm, like, in such a terrible mood today that, like, I'm not gonna be the greatest to talk to about, like, weird abstract things. Like, that or you need to be way more compelling about how you describe things. Because a lot of your descriptions of things don't exactly, push interest, I guess. Felt like a campy comic book in an entertaining way, thus as someone who usually doesn't like supers. I basically have had zero interest in watching a superhero anything. Any superhero media since around Avengers Endgame. I just don't care. It's like, it's hard to explain. Like, it's very rare that I'm just like, yeah, I wish they would stop making that, or like, yeah, they can keep making that and I just will never watch it. I've been feeling that way for quite some time now. The clother was created in a has created a cave spider silk cap and offers it to the Midnight Road. It's a cave spider silk cap. While craftsmanship is of the highest quality, it is encrusted with point-cut brown jaspers and encircled with cave spider silk and llama bone, and encircled with bands of... And this object menaces with spikes of brown jasper. On the item is an image of Scallyways, the Gorge of Sacrifices, the steel cage in cave spider silk. On the item is an image of Unib, Conjure Channel, the dwarf and dwarves in Maple. Unib Conjure Channel is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the ascension of the dwarf Unib Conjure Channel to the position of queen. The Armory of Fingers. I'm also going to go up to here. And I'm going to increase this number to 50 for drinks. And we are going to go back over to where I was digging, which is over here. You down here are going to get a, I don't know, a goose. And this is going to get connected to a lever up here. Not here specifically, but next to it. And we're going to try and catch this forgotten beast. Because down in here, I'm going to go here. No, let's use lead. That's tetrahedrite. Wanted lead. There we go. And that should be enough. Then the last thing I need to do is go in here and just go cage traps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I do need to connect levers first, so let's see how many of these left I have. I'm also going to get more of those running. Because I'm going to need one more right next to it here. Let's just type in rock mechanisms. Get them making some more. And let's try and catch this forgotten beast, chat. And also, folks on the YouTube side, don't forget to leave a like on the stream. It's only 34 likes today. We can do better. Appreciate that, Clockwork Dragon. Thanks for helping keep the chat moving. There we go. Okay, we need extra mechanisms. Let's make 30 iron cages. And then charcoal. 30. How are we doing on wood? Plenty. We can get another ghost dealt with. Surprisingly busy at a Friday for it's a surprisingly busy Friday for work. Oh, really? It's been pretty normal, maybe a bit below normal, but that's probably because I'm grumpy. It's probably got something to do with that. Let's jump up to here. Grab this last one. This is what I need. There we go. Ghost dealt with. Chat room, you keep that chat moving if you like. I will be back momentarily.
You fucking donkey!
Let's see if we have mechanisms now. Yep, we do. So let's move back up, jump over here, and get that sealed. I was kind of figuring we'd hit summer, or winter, or fall, not winter, before that was done, but then what I can do is I can basically place a wall. I'm going to have to use doors and then a wall. Place a door there. Oh. Well, I can dig around that. They can dig around that. Hello, UGDPY. How are you? Then when they dig all of this out, I will need to make them get through the aquifer, because I don't think we're below the aquifer here. No, we are not. So I will have to manually dig through this. Broke your pinky. Oh no! How'd that happen? I guess it is the easiest bone in the body to break. It's almost trading season with the dwarves. Does it happen to list on the Discord what was requested of us last year? Or should I just sell them cheese and livestock? Because I can totally just sell them cheese and livestock. Okay, let's go up to here. Fell while climbing stairs while carrying something heavy and fell with your hands under it. Ow! Fell upstairs or downstairs? Regardless, that's no fun. Jeez, man. Falling upstairs? Oh, man, yeah, that's rough. We're in an ad break, so I'm just gonna pause. So, like, you fall up and it goes like, ow. Yeah, okay. No, that makes sense. I've never broken a bone. Knock on wood. Better pinky than a neck? I know somebody who broke his neck 3 times in 1 year. Being a professional alcoholic's a bad idea, as much as the memes make it funny. Yeah, and somehow he can still walk, which is the crazy part. It's kind of an exaggeration. It's more of a he broke his neck and then refractured it and then almost healed it and then took the brace off too early and then fainted and fractured it again. Third time he needed surgery. You didn't see anything about a trade deficit mentioned in the Discord. The only reason I mention is because I think the list is too long. Yeah, so those are what we requested, but the list is so long I can't see what they requested. Like, it's a good problem to have. We got lots of things coming, but I don't know what they wanted. But, you know, such is the way of playing with multiple people. A snatcher. Child must be protected. multiple snatchers. And also this weird dude who just lives here. Go get him, dwarves. Kick his ass. I don't think those snatchers will make it very far. We got enough dogs. I think we'll be okay. Just getting through this aquifer real quick. It seems to have worked, Psychon, so thanks for saying that. How you doing, dude? It's good to see you, man. Also, hi, Talon. Happy Friday. I would say fiber... Well, balsa wood is how I would describe that man's neck. Tendons and ligament. Tell me, I was gonna say, ask me anything about full body nerve damage. Smush puppy. Actually, maybe don't. The short answer is everything hurts, and the only things that fix it are extremely addictive heavy drugs. So everything hurts because I don't want to take the drugs. All right. That's now all done. On a camping trip right now with family? Hell yeah. Son is reading in the tent. I miss camping. It's been too long. It's the one thing I kind of gave up when I moved out here is accessibility of solo camping, and camping on my own or camping with just a friend is now very difficult. So I miss it. YouTube music's okay, but it's like just a variation on the same kind of evil. Cricket. Allow me to introduce you to the good service known as Bandcamp. Because no matter how good or bad the other services are, you can say at this one time at Bandcamp, I heard a good song. It's always Bandcamp Friday, because I always get a trillion emails from Bandcamp. The only way to actually find like an ethical, decent music streaming service, Cricket and YouTube chat, is buy CDs and then rip them. That's literally the only way to do it. A caravan from Kumiluk has come. 'Tis once again time to trade with the great tenders of the mountain home. I don't. Tongue, because they had the clause saying they could take the service away whenever they wanted, and it was a Google service. So there is no such thing as a Google service that's worth using, trusting, or using. That's why I use Bandcamp and buy CDs. But if I just want to listen to something, because whatever, I use YouTube Music because I have it. But if I actually like something, I try to just buy it. Forgotten Beast, Aruludmil has come. This one has noxious secretions. It's a towering three-eyed newt. It is fat, it has a balding trunk, and it undulates rhythmically. All right, where's this one? Oh boy. Okay, so who wins? This one or the one I'm trying to catch? Because this is right next to the one that I'm trying to catch. Also, holy shit, that thing's ugly. Look at this guy! Man, this update was so good. It's fighting with one of the demons of steam. He's pushing it and doing... So the Wraith of Steam is pushing him and doing no force. And then the other... The Forgotten Beast is also doing nothing. Oh, shit. Where did he go? Where am I getting records from? One of the 3 record stores that are in town here. And I don't buy the video game ones anymore because the ones I have are just the ones I have, and that's what I'm going to use. And the reason I'm not buying any more anymore is because in 2016, shipping on them doubled. Which was okay. It was still affordable. Then in 2019, shipping doubled again. And now shipping is about 5 times the cost of a record. And I ain't gonna buy records that are already more expensive because they're a smaller novelty. And then also pay double for them. Fuck that. So no, I just buy the occasional record for myself. It's just not worth it to spend like $130 to get a double vinyl set of a video game soundtrack shipped to me, even though I can stream it. Now it's so much fun. Yeah, okay. Oh, I get unreasonably excited with them anyway. Oh, hey, you got one. See? I was able to kill one. Scratch that. I think he got 2. Yeah, you got 2 Wraiths of Steam. All right, little chomper. Go do some more chomping. I believe in you. Okay, well, the thing I gotta do over here is I gotta throw a door in right here, a door right there, and a door right there. Okay, so the reason I'm throwing all these doors in here is so that I can lock them, so that I can kite the dwarves out of going into here. Because the dwarves are just gonna try and run in here right away. Because then I can try and catch the Forgotten Beasts. That's what I need to do. But I'm also going to need a way around him. So there's one other thing I'm going to need to do. Well, that's good for that band that they're no longer on Spotify. If other bands had balls, they would also take their music off of Spotify. Cricket says that their favorite band is no longer on Spotify and they're angry. I mean, that's good. Everyone should, like, simultaneously agree to not use Spotify. There is another tantrum happening. Atir, the dwarf, has been killed. This tavern is becoming a liability, let me tell you. But that is the point. Several dwarves have been found dead. It's quite the brawl. The Gauntlet, English, was found dead. Not sure who this was, but I'm sure they were somebody of importance. We're going to need a bigger hospital, chat. We're going to need a bigger hospital. You know, to this day, Pandorma is still not allowed in Canada, as far as I know. I haven't checked in a while, but I remember when Pandora Radio first launched and it was like kind of a big deal and everybody that I knew online was talking about it and I kept looking at it and it's like, this isn't available in your region. It's like, oh, okay. I'm your liaison from the Mountain Homes. Let's discuss your situation. It says, Omvaya. You'll continue to impress. We've come to elevate this land in the eyes of our realm. I don't know why, but maybe I'll have some used clothing now. I'm going to ask for coal. That's what I'm going to ask for. They want cheese next year. Well, that's good. Can provide them with that pretty easily. I'm just going to sell this finished goods bin. And also throw down another cage up here. Appears we're still making those iron cages. Kind of amazed. Mayor's been reelected. I'm just going to go here and go charcoal. So just it's the one wood furnace, the one glass furnace. Just this one of everything here is really throwing me off because I'm used to just having more of everything everywhere. Let's just go wood furnace, wood furnace, wood furnace. All right.
Cheese for everyone!
Yeah, I guess whenever I hear people mention Pandora, I'm always like huh. That still exists. Weird. It's like just something I never even contemplate as an option. I'm sure it was some thing about them not wanting to comply with our stricter laws. If I had to bet. Also gonna need to deconstruct this statue to get these teeth out of it. Well, the good news is the doctors are getting a lot of training. Canada has stricter in almost all of our laws than the USA. I'm just speculating and tired and in a bad mood and thinking out loud, so I don't know. Who knows? You tell me. Do your research. Find out. Don't listen to shit you hear on the internet. What was I doing? I was working on this. Except for things that make sense. Generally, Dedrick. I actually need to close this. So I just want to catch this beast without killing said beast. So the next person, or whoever has it next, can do something else with this location, because otherwise this isn't going to be ready. That does sound nice. Alexi in YouTube chat says that they went to Sequoia Park. And went camping. Dwarf has bestowed a name upon a metal spear. Steel spear. Oh. Well, my broker's injured, so we'll trade with anyone. I'll buy all these instruments, although I can't actually because I don't have the money. All these are real expensive. The last player requested a lot of very specific things. And so now I kind of can't afford anything here because it's all way more expensive than it normally is. Okay, well, I can buy a few instruments. I can't bulk buy anything because everything's got something that's like ridiculously expensive, so we'll just trade that to keep the trading going. Bow making demonstration. Fascinating. Let's go back down into here. Let's get one more lever. You kind of made like a lot of things, but not a lot of anything. Like a lot of variety in this fort, but not a lot of like real intent behind the variety. So I'm trying to like work around that, and it keeps throwing me off because production is way lower than I'm expecting with a fort with the density of this size. But you know, it's part of the fun. Let's throw another bait goose over here. Need to head to bed? Snooze good. Don't buy a Switch. Okay, so half of this is done. Then I've just got to dig through a wall. Chain up, stray goose. It knows what it did. You're wearing old clothing. Let's do cloth sock. I did make a cloth sock task. I guess I'm doing it annually and not seasonally. Let's do socks seasonally, because we are very behind on clothing. All right, that's done, which means now, next thing, and the final thing, is to go down to that cavern lair. Is to go down to that cavern lair and let the beast in. Wish us luck, chat. We're gonna need it. There is a forgotten beast, like, right here. And now another one, apparently. This one is Megalophilzandor, an enormous feathered stegosaurus. It has a square shell, and it undulates rhythmically. Its clear feathers are fluffed out. Beware its poison vapor. And this one is on the lower cavern layer. Going, gosh darn it knows where. Directly to hell. Okay, well, this dwarf is going to go dig. So I can follow this dwarf, or I can follow the demon. Or the beast, rather. Because this is the one of importance. Let's follow this one, see where it goes. I have maybe a minute. Unless it turns around and decides to be boring. Okay, now it's turning around and deciding to not be... Okay, just please be direct. There we go. That or we're going to have a fortress full of forgotten beasts and demons. Okay, he's still got a ways to go. They really do love their rhythmic undulations, don't they? They're also very seemingly uninvited. Okay, so the hole to hell is all the way over here, so it's a bit far away. Let's follow the dwarf, because that's the bigger concern currently. Oh. Well, we've already dug through this. The beastie is following, although I'm going to go up here and just make sure that this is paused. Okay. Where's that dwarf? You are right here. I'm just presuming it's not a building destroyer. It might be. The ones I'm not prepared for are the toughest. I had one once that was a magnetite horse, or as a quadruped. We called it a horse. That destroyed an entire fortress in like a minute. So that was probably the strongest one I've ever seen. Okay, let's do that. But yeah, usually it's just whichever one I'm not prepared for. It actually did kill that other Forgotten Beast, right? So this creature's been through some shit. Oh, probably the most deadly one, actually, like, jokes aside, without me making mistakes, was whatever that Forgotten Beast was in Sunbirths that sprayed the deadly dust that made you immediately bleed out. We killed the beast really quickly, that was fine. But when deadly dust freezes, it becomes a pile. If a dwarf touches a pile of something, then they get covered in it regardless of, like, how much is actually there. And it managed to spread over the entirety of the surface, so if a dwarf went outside and, like, touched the snow, they instantly died. So that was probably the most dangerous Forgotten Beast. Definitely the highest kill count. Sunbirths was a hell of a fort. All right, we have a captured Forgotten Beast now. Meaning, once this is full of traps, we can then move the Forgotten Beast over here by simply opening this drawbridge and this drawbridge after maybe sealing off this, because I'm going to go do that next. And then we can kite it into here, and then we can let demons or whatever go through that, and nothing's ever going to escape. It knows what it did, and it deserved it. Clockwork. Well, we ended up calling it the Iron Stallion, because it sounded cool, but it wasn't technically a horse. But that's what we referred to it as. Just gonna wall this off so that it's not a threat to us. And we're also going to maybe, for the time being, deconstruct this door and actually go up here and get some chalk in here. And some more migrants have arrived. Vengeful. Be brave. Get in the military there, dwarf. And Dawson Gott would like to join the Midnight Road as a citizen of Winterhouse. Or Winterhouse? Underhouse. This is like the fortress name I refuse to read correctly twice in a row. You're a axe dwarf, so... Well, deaths aside, the population continues to rise. It's not possible to have a forgotten beast made out of a refined material, I don't think. And adamantine is technically a refined material, and raw adamantine is not in the list of forgotten beast materials, unless you mod it in which case, congratulations, you would have created an indestructible blob. The forgotten beast, Sashim Sadamasalabidum, has come, a huge three-eyed marten. Wait, like the pine... Hold on. Wait, marten? Marten, as in like a pine marten? Because, like, as in, like, this?
Oh, 7, we are done.
Oh, 7, we are done? Wait, how so? Why are we done? Hold on, I'm looking for a thing. Hopefully I can find it in a reasonable-ish amount of time. Oh, there it is. Martin, is it like this? If it loads. It's in like that. It's a marten. It's a pine marten. You're a marten. Actually, no, you're a stone, I know. E and I, a same thing. Oh, well, this one's in hell already, so... It's killed some humans. It growled, actually, and showed its claws. They're mean. They're related to, wolverines. This might be considered like the bird marten. Okay, so I've got 1 minute, 30 seconds of ads. Yep, same family. Same family in regards to mink and weasel. That was also, like, an 8-hour hike into the wilderness, so... None of them have official positions. Only unofficial positions. I really, really like the look of these beasts, though. I want to know how many of these demons he's going to kill, because he's already in hell, too. I presume they enter through hell by rampaging around in goblin locations. No, this is literally the janitor kaiju. Ah, I mean, he's also pretty stronky. I mean, he's got a poisonous sting. So, he is pink. Yeah, it must be considered the bird marten. I mean, it looks more like a dragon dinosaur than a bird to me. Let's see what he does. It's just a dude. Yeah, it's just a dude. That's his name. He's Martin. Hello, Orc. Happy Friday. There seems to be a bunch of dead vomit monsters from the last Forgotten Beast that got down here. No, this is the bird marten with an I, not a marten with an E. If you touch them, you get unexisted from existence. They're like negative space, basically. No, they're not a liquid. Like, if you touch it, you, like, cease to exist. Maybe you become an omnipotent being if you read all of the fan fiction of Archcrystal. but that is what it is. Fan fiction, right? So yeah, no, if you touch these pools, and also for those of you who haven't seen, they're like that nasty. If you touch those, you just get unexisted. You cease to be alive. Are there even any demons like present in hell right now? There's like kind of none of them down here right now. They're all like, I guess, upstairs somewhere. Oh, there's some dead ones. Green Fiend Vomit. Uh-huh. I guess this beast lives here now. But he can fly, so I guess theoretically he could path out. Oh yeah, no, periodically. But it depends on the current population in the world and on the map. And the creature population on the map right now is quite high because a bunch of them are just kind of up here in the caverns, like breeding and like making babies. So because they're all up here just like, you know, making babies, like this one's only 3 years old and has probably grown up in this fortress. Because they're up here just making babies, they don't really, you know, we might be already at the cap for the population of creatures on the map, so more of them aren't going to wander in. That's just a whole bunch of wraiths of steam and fire. Surface Guardian? More like the Under Guardian. Like the inverse of a Surface Guardian. All right, let's see. Where was I? But no, what we're going to need to do basically is just finish setting this up and then break into that first cavern there. Once all this is set up. Am I just like straight up out of iron? Kind of am. All right, steel cages it is. And let's just make 15. The other thing I need to do is around the outside of this. Event all the way down to about here. Let's follow this. And let's go this way. What's max pop DF? There is a maximum. I'm pretty sure it's 10,000 entities on the screen. But that includes friendlies, non-friendlies, etc. You can set it as high as you're willing to tolerate your frame rate dropping. It's in your settings. And it will become unplayable at a point. There are various points where it'll become very difficult to play. Yep. Citizens can join. I don't generally go above 250. I find the game gets a little unwieldy above that point. Like, I've I've had it set to like 500-600 before and some other silly numbers, but I do think that there's kind of diminishing returns at some point. It just kind of like becomes hard to manage and not necessarily in a fun way. I had a fortress once called Seed Vault, which I never really finished, where I was trying to get a stable population of 500. And the reason I never finished it was because I made it to like 450 or something. I got real close. And then like a few things happened, a few tantrums, and a bunch of dwarves died. And like I could have gotten it back up. I just didn't really feel like going through the process of like continuing to trade and continuing to get the population back. So have you ever ran into a large project trying to collapse multiple Z levels where after removing all the connecting floors, ramps, walls, it refuses to fall? Turn on cave-ins. Make sure you have cave-ins turned on. Otherwise, something's supporting it. Now you just need to find the thing that's supporting it. Because you clearly haven't removed all of the things. But yeah, I've definitely like gone to cave something in before and had it not work and then been like, what? Why you no work? And then moments later go, oh, I'm really stupid. It didn't work because I didn't do this thing. It's usually how that goes. And then I feel dumb for the next 15 to 20 minutes. But yeah, usually that's just a skill issue. Tongue dull. Your frames drop to like a brick past 230, 240. Get a better computer. It's all CPU dependent. At a point, like all the advice I can actually give you about frame rate, bub, in YouTube chat is hardware. Like this game is very CPU clock speed dependent. If you have a good CPU with a high clock speed, you're going to have a lot more mileage and be able to get a lot more dwarves going, which is one of the reasons why I don't really give people advice on frame rate anymore. I used to do that a lot, but once I upgraded my computer to a point where I don't really have forts that go slowly anymore, my advice is now kind of moot because my experience does not accurately represent what your experience might be. If my experience was more representative of the average user's experience, then certainly I would still give that advice more, but I kind of don't because, well, most people don't have a CPU as big as mine. Chat room, we've hit the first of winter, and that means my segment of this community fortress is now complete. 100x100 11 Z levels drop into the first cavern and spent hours trying to drop it. Yeah, I would need to look at it. I don't know. I assume you've dug all the way to the edge of the map and then gone around the edges of the whole map, right? And channeled it out. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to look at it. I couldn't tell you. If you took a full screenshot of every layer and posted on the Discord, I could take a peek, but yeah, I don't know. It could be like a tree holding it up. That's a pretty old CPU though, bub. I'm using a Ryzen 7800 X3D, which isn't even that new of a CPU at this point. But we've hit the 2nd of Moonstone early winter. The minecarts are reloading the Galena. The metal system has been expanded. The fortress itself has been continued. We've trapped a Forgotten Beast with webs over here to be used for whatever we see fit. I have it set up and ready to be used as a method of catching demons or Forgotten Beasts or whatever. The next person in the list to take the fortress is on the Discord. If you go to my Discord, there's a room here called Viewer Succession Forts. In here is a document where you can see the player order. So if I open this, the next person to go is probably Jody. Hopefully that's correct, and it is in fact probably Jody and not probably somebody else. So I will do my write-up off stream and then post it in that room alongside of the save file and all of the happenings from today's stream to continue the story. And if you would like to download the save file and try it yourself or mess around or just explore, you could do that. Or you could simply follow along and read. Or wait for the VODs, or maybe I'll make a video out of the whole thing once it's complete. So I'm going to save and continue playing, and I'm going to call it Can't remember what I was naming these. Let's just call this Underhouse V7. Year 280. The endless travel bug on missions. Make sure everybody leaves the map, bub, and don't send out nobles. And if they leave and never come back, assume they are dead, which is likely what actually happened. Usually the endless travel bug is the game failing to delete members of squads that have been killed in combat or died somehow other way outside of the map. And your best bet is to simply delete them from the squad and add somebody new. But usually it's caused by you have a animal or something in a pen or a pasture or chained up that is assigned to that squad as a combat animal that didn't leave the map, or a singular injured dwarf who hasn't left the map yet. It's usually one of those two things, I find. Twitch chat! We're gonna raid somebody with this thing. YouTube chat! I'm shutting you down now. Thank you very much for hanging out. VODs can be found at the Blind Extras. If you would like to come raid somebody with us, pop over here onto Twitch. You might see somebody new. Otherwise, I will see you Tuesday. We'll continue that new fort.